Thank you very much, JPP, Madam Sara Bilal, for providing me an opportunity to address this August gathering. Um, I think every one of us are thoroughly convinced about the work being done by JPP, and the matter was more visible by the recent judgment given by the Supreme Court in Safia Banu's case. That is a milestone judgment. Taking the advantage of the law minister's presence, I would appreciate and congratulate him for following the judgments and implementing those judgments into legislative reforms. I think the first step has been taken. In as much as in narcotics cases, the Ghulam Murtaza case, the sentencing policy which was given by the Lahore High Court in 2009, has been now made part of the law. I think on the same lines as pointed out by the High Commission, Austrian High Commission, the dictum laid down in the Safia Banu's case should now be given a proper placement in the legislative reforms. And can I ask the audience that the time has arrived for reforms in our legal system? If you ask me, I think this is the right time. The reason being that the world has refocused on Pakistan. Well, let me frankly admit that the confinement of the prisoners, either under trial prisoners or the convict prisoners, they are in the judicial custody of the courts. So by this way, the courts are primarily responsible for their well-being, to ensure that their health conditions are very well maintained, to ensure that their living standard is not, as Mr. Tarar pointed out, below that red line which has been given by the Constitution, inviolability of dignity of man. So for that purpose, we have to get the data from different independent sources. And I think JPP is providing one opportunity to provide us the independent data. As was said and also pointed out, I have to share with you one important aspect. And that is that because of the different efforts made at different fora, now we in Punjab have made it mandatory for all district and session judges to carry out the jail inspection twice a month with the specified formula, with the specified parameters. Would you, Mr. Rashid, would you show that? Now, that has covered many aspects, including the mentally retarded patient's status and their follow-up. Yes, आगे कीजिए. Now, this is to frame a policy, as Madam Sara has just pointed out, to work for probation and these kind of steps for which the minor offenses prisoners are released frequently. And of course, while doing so, the government must be conscious that the prisoners' atmosphere, their environment is one parameter under which the nation is understood how they deal with their prisoners. Obviously, provision of cleanly environment, provision of frequent communication with the families, and provision of good food, and also provision of different healthy activities for which this is their basic right. And another thing on which we are working in a proceeding, in a case in which Sara is an amicus in my court, and that is that how can we develop a jail industry in a way, not to earn profit, because in Mandela's rules 2015, this has been specifically prohibited. This is the capacity of the jails in different occupation in different jails, and you will see it's double of the capacity now. This is the data collected yesterday. So this thing we are going to persuade the government to evolve a strategy to provide prisoners a chance to learn some practical knowledge, some hunar, in which so on the basis of which they can go when they go back to their society after completing their imprisonment, they should be able to earn their livelihood in a respectable way. So these are the things which are done in every jail all over the world, but particularly in the third world countries, the emphasis is most. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure there are many suggestions will be coming forward. Amongst them, one can be that let's make a task force to make it to expedite the steps which are mandatory for the jail reforms purposes, for the disposal of the cases earlier, because pre-trial detention is an area in which the courts perhaps are directly responsible, because a trial takes months and months to conclude, although we put in our best efforts to conclude it expeditiously. But still, this forum can be a helpful place, a place where we can always develop a strategy of doing so. And then, of course, the suggestion which will come forward will be made part of the final resolution, if you call it. Before ending of my this brief interaction, I would say one thing, that prisoners are not to be hated. They are the victims of society. It was not their choice that they become criminal. And over the last 2-3 centuries now, in the modern world and also in the developing world, the jails have become a reformatory place and not a retribution place. And let's further strengthen it. Thank you very much.